Hi,
I'm
everyone.
ready.
My name is Peter Stubbe. Welcome to another episode of Agents of AI. This is the podcast sponsored and produced by Capto, who is a leading creator of custom AI agents for clients all around Europe and the globe. The purpose of this podcast is for us to highlight people in our network, inclusive of clients, non-clients, partners, allies, thought leaders, and friends, all people that we feel very strongly can provide interesting input into the future of AI, but also more specifically exciting use cases and live real-world examples of how AI is being used within varying organizations. With that said, for those of you joining for the first time or just getting accustomed to our program, we have a very unique twist. Our guests join anonymously, and I'm excited to be joined by the payment ALF today, alien life form. For those of you who don't get the reference, we will let them introduce themselves a little bit more shortly, but then we're also going to reveal their identity in a big and exciting way at the end. So please listen through to the end of the episode, and we'll reveal their identity. But Mr. Payment ALF, would you mind introducing yourself a little bit further? Just always refresher and reminder, don't share your name, don't share your work. We'll save that for the end.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. First of all, I'm really excited to be part of this conversation, especially because it brings together the two things that I, have defined my current career. It is trust and technology. Most of my professional life has been about connecting these dots, how people trust systems and how systems can become more trustworthy by the people. So yeah, thanks for having me in this conversation.
Thank you. So a little bit more about you that I know is that you're a leader and a member of the payments ecosystem and the payments universe. And I hope that we can dive a little bit more deeper into that today and that specific area. If you don't mind, though, sharing a little bit more about, what do you like most working in this field of the payment space? Like, what I often communicate this question is like, what inspires you or motivates you within your workplace? Yeah.
Yes, well, so I've spent like over 15 years working in the payments and the risk. This could sound dry from the outside, but it's actually like a living organism, so I'd like it. And it's a constant conversation between, merchants, banks, consumers, card networks. Um, so along the way, I learned that, the hardest part isn't basically the processing the payment, but it's managing what happens after something goes wrong, like if it's like a fraud claim or dispute or refund. And the biggest challenge in my path was always like protecting both and the merchant and the customers.
Mm.
Today in my role, I help merchants to basically navigate new programs from the card schemes and the payment ecosystem, especially for the smarter frameworks and dispute prevention and optimization, automation. It's all about the confidence. That's invisible agreement between the buyer and the seller that says I trust you. So I'm helping to manage all this relationship.
Great. Well, and if you were to maybe pinpoint something, and I think you may have already touched on this by saying that it is somewhat invisible to the world, although very important, such the complex infrastructure that supports payments. What do you feel is something that's underappreciated either about the payment space or your specific role? What's something that you would proudly wish to bring to light for anybody who's listening and might be in a similar career path or similar or is interested in a similar position? Yeah.
So what is most exciting me, about my current role is that the whole industry, the whole payment industry is shifting from reactive to predictive. Like for example, from my perspective, a few years ago, we would wait for a chargeback to appear,
Mm.
to gather evidence and to fight it. now we have plenty of tools that we could potentially stop so many disputes before they ever reach that stage. So it's a totally proactive approach. It's like upgrading from a fire extinguisher to a smoke detector, right?
Mm,
So AI and automation, they're right now they're giving us like a real-time visibility, letting us solve the problems why they are still just signals in the data. It's not actual case or any dispute, right? But
yeah.
we have all the information, all the data, all the signals that we could be proactive and predictive and stop from escalating. So you know because every time we prevent a dispute, it's not just a revenue, it's protecting the relationship. So that's why it's so important. So
Got it.
this is the most exciting things that light my fire, let's say.
Yeah, cool. And I think that this is a perfect segue because you had mentioned, that this transition from reactive to predictive and AI being a catalyst for that. Do you recall maybe some of like the first or early use cases that were put into production to support this? And maybe you could just like review with the audience some of the basics of what you first saw of this transition. Like what did those things look like, or what were some examples?
So if we're talking for my AI journey, I mean, it didn't start it in a WAP. It started with spreadsheets and some
Mm,
dashboards. So around 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago, I started experimenting with some AI, to analyze, like, for example, dispute or chargeback trends or some payments insights, to be a little bit more faster.
yep.
And the first, it was all about saving time. I didn't dig in deeper in order to, to have more knowledge and insights about how AI could help me. It was just saving time and automating some repetitive reporting. But then I realized that something bigger, that basically I could understand the context.
Yeah.
So it could see like why the case, why the dispute was happening, not just that it's already existed. And that changed everything for me, because instead of treating the AI like a calculator or some binary machine, let's say, I started treating it like a co-pilot, like an extension
Yeah.
of my daily work and daily uh, you know day-to-day tasks. And this helps me to see, for example, some patterns that I missed in the before that, and to make the judgment call. Um, so this is my AI journey. For now, it's still continuing.
Yeah, yeah. So on the topic of continuing, if you don't mind putting on like I don't know your predictive in the futuristic alien life form hat or thought process of somebody from outer space that's ahead of everybody else, light years ahead, I should say. Where do you see your use of AI going, or where would you like to see it go? What are some of the things that you might be working on now, or have learned about and read about, and say like that would be really really great to put into production? Like where do you see things going, or where would you like to see them go in the payments space? Yeah.
So in the payments, it will reshape, and it's now reshaping the payments ecosystem completely. We are entering in this so-called agentic commerce era,
Yeah.
where AI systems make purchases on our behalf. I mean, we could imagine like my digital assistant is booking flights, buying gifts for my wife or for my kids, or managing subscription without me even lift my finger or open my computer. It sounds like super convenient, super nice, but it creates a lot of questions. For example, who is responsible for the AI orders if the ticket is wrong, or the service is also like not received? How we validate this intent when the buyer isn't a person? So a lot of questions. I think to handle that in future, we'll need smarter prevention tools and much deeper cooperation between all participants in the payments on the payments process.
Mm,
It will also create like predictive compliance, like systems that they have sense and resolve, for example, any disputes before even reach on the final, escalated phase. My dream if for the payment ecosystem, if I may say, is where the trust is verified,
yeah,
not assumed. So this means that where every transaction, for example, carries its own proof of authenticity, and the disputes become rare exceptions rather than daily operations. So we'll see how it will develop.
great, great. And I think as one final concluding remark from you, Mr. Payments Alf, for other people that are either in your direct payments space or even maybe just in general advice to peers who uh, of course, I would say that it's probably well understood that we should be using AI, and people have an understanding of how it could potentially impact us going forward. But maybe people feel intimidated or that they're lagging behind. What would you suggest to them, or what would you like to share in terms of either motivation or resources or ways to go about their advancing their use of AI, based off your journey? What can be some encouragement that you would share with others who feel like they're behind?
So if you are just starting to use, your AI journey, my maybe biggest advice is to start small. I mean, to pick one process that, for example, is bugging you and frustrates you, something repetitive or time consuming, and see how artificial intelligence could help. Don't think that AI will replace you. It's this is like extending you. It's free. It is freeing you up to be more creative and to open your strategic side of your brain, let's say. So you could use it, for example, to learn faster, to write better, to spot patterns that you might overlook, and just to stay curious, because this is this is the ones who keep asking the better questions.
Great, great. All right, so now we get to move on to some of the funner portions of the program. Not to say that the entire discussion wasn't fun and insightful as well, and thank you for that, Mr. Payments Alpha. We do have a kind of a tradition that we have here, and that we ask our guests, like, who is their favorite agent of AI, or somebody that they rely on, whether this be a peer, it could be another thought leader or influencer, or somebody that ideally we would love to have as our next guest. Does anybody come to mind that you would suggest that we go off and follow or get in touch with?
Uh, so maybe this will be someone who is leading um, the digital transformation for some corporation or businesses, because we know that the corporation used to be more reluctant to new things and to automation. So I'm thinking for someone that is basically leading the digital transformation from some enterprise company,
Yep,
uh, because he'll be able, or she, to share a lot of insights or information, I would say, but
got it,
not
got it.
name.
No name comes to mind. That's perfectly fine. And Mr. Alien Alpha, we can certainly follow up afterwards. And if you have a specific name or thought, we can add it to the release of the episode. So no sweat. But that is a great target for us to consider in the future. So now that brings us to, I would argue, say, the most exciting part of all of our episodes. You get to reveal yourself. So if you wouldn't mind clicking back into your settings and background and adjustment, and if you re-click the button, it should reveal your identity. We can do I guess, like a little bit of a drum roll while you're getting ready to do it.
Yep, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
And
It sometimes takes us a second.
exactly. Here I am.
Here you
Ta-da!
are. Well, thank you for joining us. I've made it a tradition that I don't say the person's name when they reveal themselves. You, sir, have that honor. Thank you so much for joining us. And please share more about yourself, where you work, and yeah, let's fill in the blanks of who the payments ALF is.
Yeah, thanks for again for this very nice conversation and for this opportunity. So my name is Tsonio Atanasov. I'm working at Chargeback Help. I'm managing business development and sales for EMEA. So we basically help acquirers, payment processors, merchants to manage their disputes, to navigate them in the complexity of post-authorization fraud, pre-dispute tools, and chargebacks. So this is my background.
Yep. And one of our favorite parts of a lot of guests that share this demographic is you're also Bulgarian as well, as much of the team at Capto is too. So
Yes.
that we always get to do claps and
Bulgarian.
to go Bulgaria and go Bulgaria tech and go Bulgaria payments and go Bulgaria everything. We're big fans of featuring people from the Bulgarian nation. So with that said, is there anything else, Sonia? Ways to get in touch with you? I know that you are somewhat active on LinkedIn and have a great follower base there. Should people reach out to you there, or is there the company name for people that may have is Chargeback Help? Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the group in terms of like final thoughts or ways to get in touch?
So maybe at the end of the day, I mean, AI is helping us to discover something very human, which is the trust, right?
Yeah.
So, whether it is in the payments or creativity or leadership, trust is what connects us and keeps us the progress sustainable. So, thanks again for Capto team for creating this unique, format and for giving people like me a voice, sometimes literally through an avatar, like
Yes.
payments out, right? But, to explore how technology and humanity can grow together.
Right. We value that message as well. And we're aligned in that, technology and humanity are important co-partners in the future. And we'll conclude the episode there and encourage everybody to get in touch with Sonia if they'd like to dive deeper into that or learn anything more about you. So thank you so much, Sonia. We're going to
Thank you.
pause for the recording.